Hi, I'm angry and I'm scared, and I don't get it. So let me get this straight. And I've heard these things come out of the mouths of the GOP extreme right wingers and Trump supporters. I still don't get it. I'm trying, but it's not making any sense to me. These right wingers are against anything with the words protection, privacy, safety, choice, healthcare, insurance. They are against lowering prescription costs. They must be very, very healthy people. They are against taxing the ultra wealthy. This is a judgment call, and I apologize for it, but they don't look like it, but they must be very wealthy. They are against people choosing who they love or marry. They are against people choosing how they identify themselves. And they say that the January 6th attack on our democracy, on our capital, either didn't happen or that these attackers, these murderers, were members of Black Lives Matter and liberals. They say these are the groups that were responsible for this. It's absolutely ridiculous. And they don't care about democracy. I guess they don't understand it. Maybe they didn't go to school that week. I know they're taking civics classes out of curriculum. So we can't really blame them if they don't understand what democracy is, how it works, what the Constitution is and how it works. They believe that the Constitution was given by divine command to the founding fathers. Yet there's separation of church and state. See, this is what I'm talking about. I just don't get it. This minority rules is very, very dangerous. They refuse to accept and follow the will of the majority of American citizens. The majority of American citizens believe that a woman has a right to choose what she can do with her body, and she has the privacy to make these decisions. That's the majority of American citizens. The rest of the world is looking at us. They're not laughing. They're not laughing at us. This isn't funny. They pity us. That's the shining beacon on the hill. This is the example that we're setting for what democracy is. I'm scared and I'm angry. People like Mastriano of Philadelphia say that the Holocaust never happened. He's not alone on this. I heard him say it. I heard him say that we need to eliminate Jews. And he believes that white people should have more children because we need more white people. I heard him say these things. It's ridiculous and it's dangerous. And I don't know how to get out of this quagmire. They're changing the curriculum. They want to eliminate sex education in schools. Oh, but you can't have an abortion if you get pregnant and you have no clue how you got pregnant. But you have to have that baby anyway, and maybe go on and have others because you weren't given the proper education to prevent a pregnancy. It's ridiculous. It's scary. It's absurd. It's appalling. I'm running out of words. I don't know how to get out of this. But apathy is dangerous. And these people call themselves Christians. walking in another man's shoes? Open your arms to foreigners? Isn't that part of the Judeo-Christian ethic? I don't get it. And these Republicans that for so long were against big government, they want to control everything. They want the government to tell you who you can marry. That's appalling. How you identify yourself. It's horrible. I have family members that are gay and transgender. They're not threatening me. My marriage is solid. I'm happy for them. I want them to be happy. I would rather see a happy gay couple raise children than an abusive, ignorant, heterosexual couple raising children. The whole thing is absurd, and I don't get it. And it's scary enough that Bannon and Trump and Mastriano, that these people are out there, and the president of Hungary are out there with their anti-Semitic, racial, Islamophobic toxin. But people believe them. Why? Well, someone opened their mouth and words came out. That's not a reason to believe people. I tell my students, when you write an essay in history, this is not an editorial. You're not writing an editorial. You are writing based on primary sources. That's evidence and facts. And you accumulate those primary sources and you create secondary sources. And you write in the tone of a textbook. You don't see in a textbook, I think, I believe. No, that's editorializing. That's what I'm doing right here. These are my opinions based on what I've seen. But if I'm writing a paper, I'm going to write this based on facts and evidence. And these people are spewing the poisons that they're hearing because they don't believe in facts and evidence. How sad is that? And I know that these authoritarian leaders need to dumb down their people, their cult followers. Because if you are educated and intelligent, you're going to do your research before you decide what your opinion is. Somebody tells you, purple people are bad. And you go, yeah, purple people are bad. And then you ask someone, why do you believe purple people are bad? And one might say, my dad told me. Well, let's get some evidence here. What is it about purple people that you don't like? Not just somebody told me. That's what they're doing. And it's so scary. And that's another thing, this whole color thing. It's pigment, people. It's pigment. Some people have more pigment than others. That's not a reason to discriminate and hate and hurt and murder people because they have more pigment. Doesn't that sound absurd? And it's not their fault. They're not educated. They either didn't pay attention, or they didn't go to school, or they dropped out. And the curriculums are changing. They've taken civics away. So you can't blame people if they don't understand the Constitution and the concept of democracy. They weren't taught that because civics was taken away. You can't blame this 14-year-old girl who's so madly in love with her little boyfriend that she got pregnant because they took sex education away from the schools. She doesn't even know how she got pregnant. And now she has to drop out of school and raise this child? What kind of a job is she going to get at 14? How is she going to raise this child? Where's the father going to be? Oh, I know. We'll just give it to the grandparents. We'll let them raise it. Why don't we give these babies to the GOP? Really? Will they raise these babies? The whole thing is ridiculous. And it comes down to apathy. Apathy is dangerous. People need to start walking in other people's shoes. They need to be empathetic. They need to understand where people are coming from. They need to embrace the idea that this is one race, the human race. And this whole idea of being against globalization and internationalism as Americans, where in the world are you getting this? I'll talk about that in another session. But I'm angry and I'm scared. And you should be too. Thank you for your time.